Hello, ladies and gentlemen. As the final exams approach in November 2024, it is time to brush up your data analysis skills. Statistics is examined in every maths paper too. I was checking the trend from 2020. In November 2020, the question on statistics was on histograms. In November 2021, it was on histograms. And then in November 2022, it was on cumulative frequency. In June 2023, it was on pie charts. In November 2023, it was on histogram. And then in June 2024, 75% of the question was on cumulative frequency and 25% was on histogram. So most probability in November 2024, statistics question will be on pie charts. I will also create histograms final exam tips, but today let us focus more on pie charts. These circular wonders may seem simple, but they can be a powerful tool for understanding and presenting data. In this video, I will save up some test tips on how to take pie charts with confidence so that you can ace your exams and finish the year on high note. From understanding percentages and angles to mastering common question types, I have got you covered. Let's dive in and make pie charts a pro. So pie charts are examined both in maths paper 1 and maths paper 2. You should be able to find angles. Usually letters are going to be given and you need to find angles for those letters. Be able to use the angles in order to find the missing values. Be able to construct pie charts. Draw smooth circle using the compass. Measure correct angles using the protractor. Shade different regions and provide key. Label correctly. For example, you say this is a pie chart that is representing different types of books that were borrowed in the library. Be able to master statistics question common to all statistic questions in maths paper 2. For example, calculation of estimate of mean, calculation of probability, calculation of modal and median, and also the missing value. So we are going to revise the questions on pie charts using typical questions that was examined in June 2023 on number 11, Zimsec November 2019, number 9, Zimsec November 2014, number 9. So first we are going to revise the question on pie charts that was in June 2023. The question was on number 11. It was already a drawn pie chart diagram. It is reading, the pie chart above shows the choices made by 192 learners on their preferred favorite subject. We are supposed to find the number of learners who said they preferred Shona. So part A required candidates to calculate values from the given angles. So want to find the number of learners who preferred Shona, and the degree for Shona is 120. So we are going to say the complete revolution sums to 360. So 120 over 360 times 192 in order to get our final answer is 64 learners. And then on part 2, it is saying the number of learners who said the preferred accounts. So the number of learners who preferred accounts, their angle is represented by 90 degrees. So we say 90 over 360 times 192 in order to obtain 48 learners. So it implies that 48 learners preferred accounts. And then part B, it is saying 40 learners said they preferred commerce. Find the value of P. So part B required candidates to calculate angles from given values. You just need to say the given value over the total value times 360. So here we are given 40. The total number of learners is 192. So we are going to say 40 over 192 times 360 in order to get 75 degrees. And then finally, it was saying 32 learners said they preferred history. Find the size of angle that represent other subjects. So here what we need to do is we are given that 32 learners said they preferred history. We need to calculate their angles. We are going to say 32 over 192 times 360 in order to get 60 degrees. And then now to find the angle for other subjects, we then say 360 minus 120 for Shona, 90 for accounts, 75 degrees for commerce, and 60 degrees for history. In order to get the angle for other subject is 15 degrees. So that was all about pie charts in June 2023. We need to move on to another typical exam question on pie charts. We are going to proceed to number 9 of November 2019. Again, the question on statistics was on pie charts. So here we have an already drawn table, an already drawn pie chart. It was saying the pie chart represent the time T hours spent by 240 people on charity work. We are supposed to find the value of X. So to find the value of X, we are going to say 360 minus 90 plus 90 plus 120 in order to get 60 degrees. Because for the time from 2 to 4, we have 90 degrees. 6 to 8, we have 90 degrees again. And then 0 to 2, we have 120. So we are going to say 360 minus 90 plus 90 plus 120 in order to get 60 degrees. So that is how we get the first mark. And then on part B, it is saying the following table shows the information contained in the pie chart. We are supposed to find the value of P. So to find the value of P, the degrees that is representing 2 to 4 is 90 degrees. So we are going to say 90 over 360 times 240 in order to get 60 people. And then on part 2, we're supposed to find the value of Q. So for time that is from 4 to 6, we are having our degree is 60 degrees. So we say 60 over 360 times 240 in order to get 40 people. And then on part 3, we are supposed to calculate the value of R. For 6 to 8, we have 90 degrees again. So we are going to say 90 over 360 times 240 in order to get 60 people. So I think it is now clear on how to calculate the number of the value from the given angles. And then part C, calculate an estimate of mean time spent on charity work. As you are preparing for your November 2024, make sure that you are ready to collect all the 3 marks. This is a frequently examined question. In every statistic question, you are going to be examined about estimate of the mean, and you should be able to calculate it. So in order to calculate estimate of the mean, the formula is going to be summation of midpoints times their respective frequency over the summation of frequency. So for the first category, we have 0 to 2. The midpoint for 0 to 2, we are going to say 0 plus 2 divided by 2, we get 1. And then we say 1 times 80, we are now having that 80. And then for the second category, the midpoint is going to be 2 plus 4 divided by 2, so that we get 3. 3 times 60, we get 180. And then for the third category, we are going to say 4 plus 6 divided by 2, we get 5. 5 times 40, we are going to get our answer is 200, right? And then the final, it is 6 plus 8, we divide by 2, so that we have 7, and then we say 7 times 6. After that, we divide by 240. We are going to get our final answer is 3 and 2/3 hours. And then to convert 3 and 2/3 hours in hours and minutes, we are going to say 2/3 times 60, we get 40. So it means that the estimate of the mean is going to be 3 hours 40 minutes. And then part G, it is saying 2 people chosen at random from the whole group. We are having 2 people who are chosen at random from the whole group. We are supposed to find the probability that they both spend more than 4 hours doing the charity work. So be prepared to answer a question on probability. And when you are answering a question on probability, you need to check if you are taking from the same category or you are taking from different categories. So here we are taking from the same category, that is those who spend more than 4 hours. So those who spend more than 4 hours, we are going to say 40 plus 60, we get 100. So the probability of selecting first those who spend more than 4 hours, we say 100 over 240. And then the probability of reselecting from the same category, it is going to be 99 times 239. Can you see that the numerator and the denominator, they are both affected because we are selecting from the same group? So we are going to say 100 over 240 times 99 over 239 in order to get our final answer is 165 over 956. So we can write it as a fraction, or we can also write it as a decimal. We round correct to 3 significant figures. So that was all about statistics in November 2019. And then finally today, we are going to revise the question on pie chart that was in November 2014. The question is reading, the table shows the number of books borrowed from university library in a week. We are supposed to find the total number of books borrowed in that week. We are going to say 30 plus 45 plus 25 plus 20 plus 60 in order to get 180 books. And then on part B, it is saying express the number of theory of education book as a fraction of all the book borrowed in its lowest terms. So the number of theory of education books that were borrowed, there were 60 out of total of 180. We are going to reduce it to its lowest terms by dividing both the numerator and denominator by 6, so that our final answer is going to be 1 over 3. And then on part C, it is saying show this information on a clearly labeled pie chart, 6 marks. So you need to understand all the steps that need to be followed for you to get all the 6 marks. The first step is of calculating the angles. So for the angle of geograph, we are going to say 30 over 180 times 360 in order to get 60 degrees. And then the angle for science, we're saying 45 over 180 times 360 in order to get 90 degrees. And then the angle for maths, we say 25 over 180 times 360 in order to get 50 degrees. And then the angle for Shona, we say 20 over 180 times 360 in order to get 40 degrees. And then finally, the theory of education, we say 60 over 180 times 360 in order to get 120 degrees. So this is the first step. The second step, now we are now going to construct a circle using a canvas. Make sure that you draw a smooth circle using a canvas. And then after that, You measure and draw angles calculated using a protractor. You need to provide different shades for different subjects. Label angles inside the pie charts and provide the key. Finally, you need to label correctly that this is a pie chart of books that were borrowed from university in a week. And then the last question, it was on probability. It is reading, 2 students borrowed books from the library during that week. Calculate the probability that the first student borrowed a science book and then the second borrowed a maths book. So the probability of first selecting the one that picked science book, it is going to be 45 over 180. And then the probability of maths book, the probability of picking maths is 25, right? But the denominator is going to change since the total is going to be affected by selection of the first student. So we are going to say 45 over 180 times 25 over 179. We are going to obtain our answer is 25 over 716, or we are going to write it as a decimal. It is going to be 0.0349. So that was all about statistics in November 2014. So this marks the end of our tutorial today on final exam tips on pie charts. Please don't forget to subscribe, like, and share my videos. This is Eve signing out.